Hello one and all, and welcome to XeroPhobia. Tonight, children, we speak of destiny, fate, sorrow, and psychosis. Of course, I'm speaking of the game we're reviewing today, Masochisia. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name of the game correctly. Feel free to light me up in the comments section if you want to. Aside from that, this game was in fact a doozy, and that's not a word that I use lightly. I started with the alpha build that I downloaded from GameJolt.com, and I was so captivated by its style, its music, and what little taste of story I was given that I was overjoyed when I found that it had been released on Steam. Like I said, I fell in love with the art style right off. The sound design, the soundtrack, it was just all well put together. The actual play style of the game was, at its core, very simple. This is a point-and-click game with no real control over the character, aside from clicking a linear path and arrows. But the story of this game makes up for all of that. I can't really talk about the story for fear of giving anything away, save for you're from a home of abuse, and you tend to find ways to cope. But this, to me, this is pure psychological horror at its best. At the time I wrote this script, I was 20 minutes out from playing the game, and it still resonates with me. At the time of recording this dialogue, I'm about 3 days out, and it still just eats away at my subconscious. This game is one of the most disturbing games that I've played in a very long time as far as an indie title goes. One where I was actually reacting to what my character was doing. The game captures that by being very gory, very visceral, very disturbing, but with no visual aid. During certain scenes in the game, you're forced to sit with a black screen and listen in excruciating detail to what you're doing or what's being done to you. And that's where the game gets a lot of its twisted charm. That and the love notes it drops on your desktop while you play it. I'm not saying that the sound design carried this game though, because the art is to be praised as well. Specifically the David Finch-esque character design, which added a lot to the game's disturbing ambiance. The entire atmosphere just had a gloomy feel to it. Pasty colors, lifeless looking characters, moody music. On paper, this game is simple. It's a dialogue-driven point-and-click adventure. The game did have a few puzzles that took me a minute to solve, but this to me isn't a game as much as it is an experience. You make the choices, and the game forces you to deal with them. There isn't a game over because you're supposed to finish it. My only regret is that my game crashed during the ending, and I'm not even sure that it crashed because the game broke the fourth wall so much that I'm just assuming that I'm not allowed to end the experience yet, due to the choices that I made. And that's psychological horror. No monsters, no ghosts. The game had a few jump scares, but they served purpose. But the game worms into your mind and it festers, and that's a good horror game. There were real parts in this game that I was a little too disturbed to go on, but I forced myself to, and that's a very rare feeling for me considering my backlog of horror experiences. If this is a game that you do intend on checking out, I highly recommend that you download the game and you play the game in one setting like I did. Don't stop, don't pause the game, don't leave, finish the story in one setting. I feel that's the only way to get the full experience. And this is one of the rare games that does have a warning at the beginning of the game that after playing the game I fully embrace. This isn't for the weak-willed. This isn't for those who are very impressionable. This isn't for those dealing with those kind of thoughts. This is a tromp through a psychological nightmare, your character being a sociopath in and of himself. And for once, in one of my reviews, I don't really have anything negative to say about this game. I highly recommend you check the game out. I'll be leaving links to the game's GameJolt and Steam pages, and again, I highly recommend you at least check the alpha out. If the game bites you from there, go check the game out on Steam. It's well recommended in my book. Also, in my description, you'll see a code for tblocks.com. Definitely check that out. That code will get you 15% off your first month subscription. If you liked my review, if you agreed with my review, disagreed with my review, let me know in the comments section below. Caress the silky like button. Do me a huge favor and share this video around. Subscribe to my channel for more horrific content if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the other side.